Hey, boys and girls. It's time for Uncle Jay Explains the News. Now here's the guy who helps little minds understand big news stories, Uncle Jay.
Hi, boys and girls. Well, summer is almost over, and the news is a little slow this time of year, on TV and on the web and on something called the newspaper. You know, they have to report something. So this is the time of year when you start seeing headlines that you might not see at other times of the year, especially this year, because this year they're facing a critical shortage of shark attacks and missing young white blonde women, probably due to global warming. And yet, even with fewer stories, they're still managing to get quite a few of them wrong. That's why Uncle Jay's news word for this week is correction. I bet you're familiar with this word, says Uncle Jay from when he was a kid. And when some of you grow up, you'll see this word on a sign right in front of where you live. Well, when the news admits a mistake, they use this word, correction. For instance, last week, they ran a picture of a Russian submarine underwater at the North Pole. It turns out that actually was a picture from the movie Titanic. They probably figured that not too many people saw that movie and that nobody would notice. Well, this week's word is also used by people in something called the stock market. Uncle Jay doesn't really understand the stock market and why it goes up or down, but it did go way down last week. And many corporate executives are expressing concern about what the future may bring. Now, when this happens, boys and girls, they call it a correction, which is kind of confusing because there really are better words, easier to spell, that capture the mood, I think, of what happens a little bit better. Maybe someday they'll start using them. Well, something else that's way down is the audience for presidential debates. There's a big surprise. Because, already the candidates are just picking on little things that the others are saying and doing. I'd rather just watch you smarter than a fifth grader. Okay, boys and girls, it's time to answer one of your news questions. This week it comes from Larry in Seattle. Hi, Larry. Larry writes, Dear Uncle Jay, is it true that President Bush is writing a book for kids? I hope so, because it's probably about a big invasion with missiles and surges and torture and wiretapping. When does it come out? Sorry, Larry. Whoever told you that story needs to issue a... It's President Bush's wife, Laura, and daughter, Jenna, who are working on a children's book. So it's probably not about stuff like soldiers and fighter jets and draft dodging. It's probably an inspirational story about how young children can empower themselves to overcome great obstacles and make it big in this world. Well, boys and girls, send your news questions to Uncle Jay at UncleJayExplains.com. I'll see you next Monday when Uncle Jay explains the news. And remember, a good kid is good news.